Welcome back to the show. I'm here with Alan Graham from Counts Real Estate. And what are we talking about today, Alan?
Hey, Don. I always like to bring topics of interest, and usually they're relevant to what's going on right now in the real estate world with me. And so we have an unusual situation with a homeowner that decided to enclose a porch. And you know, that happens quite often.
I mean, if you're a handy guy and you're like, hey, I can do that, why should I pay someone? I'll do it myself.
That's exactly right. That's exactly the philosophy. And a lot of times these additions are done on existing porches that already have a roof over them. So there's no real reason to pull a permit. You're only putting up a couple of walls, and then you might add a window air conditioning unit, and you might add some windows and things like that. But when it comes time to sell that home, if you did not pull a permit, then that's going to come up as a question with the appraiser. And we had a gentleman enclose 400 square feet, put an air conditioning unit in it. 400 square feet at $150 a square foot can really add up to a lot of value in the appraised value of a home. And so,
I can understand why someone would do that, because it's probably a really nice family space and it's comfortable now, and he probably saved a little money in the short term doing it himself.
Hey, it was his man cave. He put his sports stuff out there, a couch, a TV, a nice ceiling fan, and an air conditioning unit, and he could go out there and watch the ball game with his buddies. But the hoops that we're having to go through to get that additional square footage counted, because right now the lender won't lend the money because the house won't appraise for that. So we've got a closing that's stopped because of that 400 square feet. So how do we go back and get that reworked? We have to go get an engineer to take a look at it, certify that it was done structurally correct. Second thing we have to do is go back through the permitting process, which means that we have to go pull an electrical permit, a construction permit, and we have to have an energy code sheet filled out on it to take down to the building department. Now, they charge us double for the process because if you didn't pull it before you did the work, there's a penalty for that. So they charge double for each permit. And not only that, you've slowed or delayed the closing up, and so you've inconvenienced somebody who already has sold a home somewhere and are staying in a motel waiting for that home to close.
So this little addition, although it might have saved some money in the short term, in the long run, it's costing them a lot more in time and money and just inconvenience. Forget about it.
It would have been much cheaper to pull the permit and have it done correctly in the beginning than it is to follow up with this afterwards. But that happens all the time.
Yeah, especially if you're a handy guy. And you've got some tools and you know how to do that. And it's like, I can do that. But you've got to do it deliberately, and you've got to do it slowly, and you've got to do it right, I guess.
Right, and a lot of the companies that come in to do these room additions, Florida rooms, they'll install an aluminum porch over the top roof, screen it in, and then somebody will get the bright idea at some point, let's just put glass in and put an air conditioning unit there. Nothing's really wrong with that. But in the end, if you don't permit it, it creates big issues at the sale.
Yeah, and word to the wise, you know, if you can get a contractor to do it, do it. But if you're a handy guy and you're going to do it yourself, where do you learn how to get all these permits and things?
Go to the building office, the Bay County Building Office on 11th Street. They've got a great resource there. They'll instruct you on how to do that. It is okay for you personally to do that for yourself, but just make sure you document it and use all the standard materials that a contractor would use, and don't take any shortcuts.
Right, especially when it comes to the electrical and all that, because that could be...
Well, you also want it to blend in with your home. You don't want to create an addition that looks like it was done by Tim Tooltime Taylor, if you know what I mean.
That would be me.
Yeah, the roof's kind of slanted, the electrical plugs are a little crooked, and that's real difficult because people that are looking at houses, they pick up on that stuff real fast.
Sure. You know, like just a light switch being in backwards. I've actually seen that in homes, you know.
Right.
Yeah, so you've got to do it right. Do it the first time. And when in doubt, just hire somebody who knows what they're doing, if you can afford to.
That's right. It'll save you a lot of money and time in the end. And your home, which is your largest investment, will have a lot more value to you when you sell it.
It's good advice, Alan Graham. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week, and we'll be right back.